Yeah, so I was just reading one of the reviewers talking about how these things decay. He says, after cell death, enzymes start to break down the bonds between the nucleotides that form the backbone of DNA, and microorganisms speed the decay. In the long run, however, reactions with water are thought to be responsible for most bond degradation. Groundwater is almost ubiquitous, so DNA is buried bond samples. So DNA in buried bond samples should, in theory, degrade at a set rate. In other words, he was saying DNA are not, in fact, they are not supposed to last 100,000 years. So someone telling you that DNA has lasted for 70 million years does not science, and they're trying to twist science to fit their theory. And that's what they did, by the way. After they got this evidence, now scientists went back to check their bones, and they said, oh, let's check, because they've never been checking for tissues and DNA in the dinosaur bones before, because they assumed it is supposed to be there. But after this clue, now most of them went back to check their bones, and they found fresh tissues. So some of them came together and say, how can we counter this? This can't be true. Let us find another theory. So they rewrote the law of decomposition. And they say, the controversial T-Rex soft tissue finally explained. Do you know how they explained it? The controversial discovery of 68 million years old soft tissue. How do you even say those two in one sentence? From the bone of a Tyrannosaurus Rex finally has a physical explanation. According to the new research, can you say new research? Yes. The research is geared towards opposing the Bible and confirming what they wanted to confirm. Okay, according to the new research, iron in dinosaurs' body preserved the tissue before it could decay. So they changed it that, oh, by the way, now tissues can be preserved. Do you know they did that? They soaked one group of ostrich blood vessels, when walichinja nyama, ndege, wakachukua tissue, soaked an iron-rich liquid made of red blood cells, and another group in water. The blood vessels left in the water turned into a disgusting mess within days. The blood vessels soaked in red blood cells remained recognizable after setting at room temperature for 2 years. You understand what these guys are doing? This science they are publishing for us in the journals. They take the blood vessel, maybe from an ostrich, and then they extract, they make an iron-rich solution, and they put that vessel there, and they cover, and they preserve it nicely in a laboratory for 2 years. Another they put in the water. Then after 2 years, they say, oh, this one in water, see, it has decayed. This one, the iron-rich solution we made, we can still recognize it. And they say, so this means that one also stayed for 70 million years. Are you seeing the problem with that? That's I'm asking. How realistic is a 2-year concentrated hemoglobin extract compared to 70 million years old natural environment? The one they are getting is on the natural environment, not in a laboratory. Mvua inakuja, inanyeshewa, jua inachoma, and they're not very deeply buried by the dinosaurs, among of the shallowest buried fossils. So to do some 2-year experiments in a lab and compare the 70 and say that it could occur for 70 million years is really absurd. So in short, I don't believe dinosaurs are that old. They just went extinct a few. In fact, I have another full lecture on that, on dinosaurs and where they have been, and the artifacts that have been drawn by people some time back. When the archaeologists, when they dig, they find people have drawn dinosaurs all over. You find people that have a lot of stories about it. So they were there. They just got extinct recently. Let's talk about Earth's magnetic field. Do you know there's a magnetic field? When you are told, ukiweka a magnet, it will rotate, and then where will it settle? The north will point to South Pole, and the South Pole to North Pole. We know that. How many of us are doing physics in high school? So that happens because the Earth has a magnetic field. The Earth has a magnet. It's amazing. You know, the sun's radiation is so dangerous that if we were to be exposed, we would die, all of us. But the Earth has magnetic field that has formed, as is around, has surrounded it, so that it knows the dangerous radiations and it sieves it. It deflects. Then it allows only the good sun rays to come through. Did you know that? Yeah, beautiful if you knew. So, do you think that happened by itself? That the earth knew that, oh, by the way, there are people living on me called human beings, and there's another thing up there called the sun that is dangerous, so I need to generate something called magnet that's going to counter that dangerous radiation, and I'm going to allow only the best light for photosynthesis. Tell your neighbor that cannot happen by itself. So, the problem that these people advancing evolution theory have is with this magnetic property of the Earth. It is fading over time. From the measurement they did around 1845, that's up in 19th century, up to now, the Earth's magnetic strength has decreased by 10%. That means that if you go back, you'll notice that that magnetic field has not been there for long. It hasn't been there for long because it is reducing, okay? Another thing I want to talk about is the moon. You know, the moon is moving away from the Earth at a rate of 3.8 centimeters per year. Do you know that? Every time you're seeing the moon, the moon this year, next year it will be further. So when we have, I think, this last year, 2 years ago, we had one of the biggest moons happening. You remember? And we were very excited to take the photos. It won't be there forever because it is moving away from, every time it rotates, it keeps moving away and away from the Earth. It's called the recession, moon recession. And do you notice the moon that is causing the tides? Ukienda kuona, kumenda Mombasa, umeona vile bahari ina BF, si ndio? Sangine it is maji inakuja, sangine inarudi, si ndio? It can go back uone maji up, then after a few hours itaanza kukuja tena. You know, it is the moon that has a gravitational force that is pulling the water. It is the moon pulling the water. You know that? Yes. So moon plays an important role in life because again, with all those tides going and coming back, there won't be life in the ocean because there's a way that it is giving. It is a design by God to let life grow. So it goes and comes back. Now, because the moon is moving away from the Earth currently at 3.8 centimeters per year, if you work that one backwards, it means that at some point it was close, isn't it? Because ukipata kama ina move hivi, sinamaanisha it was close at some point. So you just need to work mathematics backwards and realize that 1.4 billion years ago, it was in contact with the Earth. Now that's a problem because evolution is saying that the moons formed just after the Earth. And by the way, we have other moons around some planets that are also going in opposite directions. So that is it. So we have a lot of This was falsified data. It was in a science textbook. Unfortunately, they were saying that the embryo goes through evolutionary stages during pregnancy. Finally, it was debunked as a hoax. This is the true picture. I mean, this is what they were making, that it's first when the child is forming in the stomach, in the womb, it first like a fish, then it turns into something like a salamander, and then into a turtle, then into a chicken, then into a rabbit, then into a human being. Then you are born. Like, they are so disparate. But all this was falsified data. This is the actual photo of an embryo in a human womb. Now we know with the new technology. This happened in 1960 by Professor Hans Haken. He falsified the drawing to prove to his students that human embryos go through what? Evolution. And you are going to get professors like this, who are just desperate to disprove you are God and tell you that you know nothing. And they are ready to even falsify data. We'll be winding up. Darwin's theory proven true. This one is, they took some bones, someone called Piltdown man. This scientist examined the bones of the Piltdown man in 1915. Then see the painting of Charles Darwin on the wall. Then, almost 40 years later, they realized that that was a hoax. It was again in the news. They construct these people without any evidence, just from one bone. And then they're saying that he's the ancestor, you know. So many things. This guy you are seeing here, you know, someone just got, yani mtu alipata tu jino ya nguruwe. Jino ya nini? A tooth of a pig. And they said, wow, we have discovered the missing link. And they said, you see, if you look at this teeth, you know, of man, and look at this tooth, it shows that at some point man had bigger teeth, and the jaws were bigger. And with the time, it reduced, and it became man from apes. So they took the tooth, they say, you know, if you have a tooth, they can construct the jaw. They used the tooth, they constructed the jaw. From the jaw, they constructed the skull. From the skull, they constructed the body. And finally, they made this man. And then, after teaching this in school for 10 years, ndio wakarealize, oh, kumbe ilikuwa ni ya nguruwe. This is a missing link. One day they said, you are seeing this thing here, like flying, like a dinosaur, like a bird. This was in a USA Today in 1999. National Geographic, this is where we're watching our documentaries from and trying to get our information from about science. So in 1999 November edition, they published that thing, very excited. This is what they are saying. Its long arms and small body screams bird. Its long stiff tail, which under magnification erupts into a series of tiny support rods, parallel vertebrates, screams dinosaur. The creature found in Liaoning province, China, is a true missing link in the complex chain that connects dinosaur to birds. National Geographic, November 1999 edition. Well, just a year later, it was just something made up. Dinosaur badly smashed up in fossil slab. It was never there. And they had to apologize. They published it in the second edition saying that, oh, by the way, guys, we are sorry, that was not what we thought. But there are many that in the textbook to date. This, for example, someone took many bones, put them together, did an X-ray saying, that's the missing link. This is how dinosaurs turned into birds. Let me tell you, there is no missing link. Somebody said, there are no missing links. They're all what? The whole chain is missing. So I will end it there for today. and welcome questions, if any, one or two, so that when God said there, let nobody confuse you. Believe that God, in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. You know, once you believe that statement, you will not have a problem with any other thing that comes your way. In the beginning, God created heaven and earth. Does it? So the scientists know it is not easy to now explain these things. You know, when the scientists, and it's in the journal, and it's from the university of America or UK, and the professors written it, and you see it on the documentary channels and the discovery channels, then you're saying, oh, maybe it is true. But if you just dig a little bit deeper, you find a lot of problem with that. There's intelligent design. The way God has made everything is just amazing. We've not even talked about DNA. There's a time they used to think that there's junk DNA. And they're saying, you see, junk DNA is like DNA that is not useful. So it means that evolution happened, and then now this one is not necessary. So they are called vestigial organs, or vestigial something, that the organs that were being used previously before the evolution took place, so they're no longer useful. Until 10 years ago, they found that the junk DNA is actually the brain, like that is where the information comes from. There's no junk DNA anymore. But they've thought that in school for many years. You're even told there's something called tailbone in human being. They're saying, you know, you are a monkey, like a monkey at some point, and then after evolution, the tail disappeared, but the bone is still there. That's why you have the tailbone. That it has no use. And the appendix and all that. So many things will be coming up. But we have a God that has shown us the way, who created heaven and earth, and has given us the Bible to explain to us exactly what he did. Amen? Are you blessed? Yes. Somebody has a question? I'm to raise the biology teachers. All right, so I think that's it for now. If you want to find more, you can see me later for any more explanation that you might be needing. So let's welcome Alfaris.
Praise the Lord. Si tumepata evidence, ndio? Hao majamaa watatuchanganya tena, ndio? Now we know what is right and what is wrong, ndio? We were created, ndio? We never evolved. Amen? So I want to invite, I'm told that Kifex is ready for the trivia. Are you ready for the trivia? Are you blessed, guys? Hello? Yes. If you are blessed, just wave. Corner. Thank you. And I want us to appreciate our pastor for the research he has done. Amen? And I want us to do it differently. Are you ready? There is something we call a factorial. So I want us to do a 4 factorial. Amen? So you clap like this, eh? Umepata? 4 factorial. So let's start. One more time. Thank you. Felix?
Bwana Yesu asifiwe.
Amen.
Bwana Yesu asifiwe. Sawa sawa. So today we're going to have our trivia. And I want us to go into our teams. So Team Onyx. hiyo sauti hapana. Team Onyx. Okay. Team Sapphire. Team Sapphire. Okay. Team Topaz. Topaz. Team Amethyst. Team Ruby. Team Emerald. I'm the chai. Okay. So as to get into our teams. So Team Onyx tukae hapa kama huko hapa haraka haraka. Alafu nataka kuita msanii. Wakati msanii atachangamsha before tuanze. And the band. Ako wapi? Ako wapi msanii from Kajiado? Aya, tumkaribisha na makofi akikuja.